Hey guys, and welcome to Shay'S Stocks. I'm going to try and enunciate a bit better because my brother was moaning, but when he watched my videos he can't hear me, so I said turn it up. But I'll try and be clearer. But I'm always quiet because it's a quiet home, it's a quiet house, a quiet environment. Doesn't need me being loud. So it's day 40, it's video number 28. And big things happened. Trump is talking about going and taking over Greenland, becoming part of America. He wants to buy it, but of course Europe objects because Denmark object, and it's kind of their territory. And he has decided to impose tariffs 10% up until February, and then 25% after that on a bunch of EU countries and in UK. So, it's all going to kick off. That was announced over the weekend. The markets were shut Monday in America, so we got a nice sort of look at the European markets to see how everything was doing, and things like Duolingo went down 6% in the European market, but obviously that didn't hurt us because we went in the European market, but it just gave us a heads up on where it was going. So immediately what I did was, as soon as the pre-markets opened, I sold Duolingo. So we only lost about 30 quid there. That could have been really bad because it tanked as soon as the pre-markets opened. Normal markets haven't even opened yet, and Duolingo's down to $146 a share. And it's probably heading to about 140. Couldn't really have foreseen this. Just geopolitical news. Tariffs have a habit of tanking the market for 2 days to 4 or 5 weeks. And what's going to happen here is, first the American have done their imposing of tariffs, and then the EU will retaliate 2 days time. So we're talking a bit of a bloodbath, if I'm right, for the markets when they open in 5 hours. With that in mind, we have sold everything. Keep in mind we were up about 35-40% at one point. Now it's only 20 odd percent, but it's still profit. And I believe if we wait, we're going to lose that profit and watch it go down and end up cashing out, breaking even. That's what have we done this last 3 months for if we're just going to do that? So yeah, I could be wrong. I could be way off course, but all the research I've done, I spent a good hour talking to Gemini, asking them lots of questions about what the tariffs, how they're going to impact the market, how the European market, is that a precursor to how the American market's going to move? Loads of questions, and Gemini agreed with me that there could be some volatility today, possibly tomorrow, especially with America having a bunch of announcements as well about jobs announcements and some sort of inflationary type announcement. There's a bunch of stuff happening this week that could all impact the market, and I just decided we shouldn't be a part of that. So this was an opportunity to sell up, take the profits, which was, I think in the end, after the hit, we're probably only about 300 up total, which is just brutal. But it's better than nothing, and the research allowed us to see this comment, so it hasn't happened yet, so it might not happen. The markets might go, it's just more Trump being Trump. We're not even going to react to it, we're just going to buy more. But I think there's going to be a drawdown on the market of 10 to 20% this week, and then like a 40% rebound afterwards. So Trump gets to do what he wants to do now, absolutely upset everybody, and then he gets to spend the next sort of 6 months before midterm elections fixing the market and looking like an absolute business genius, as everything's going up and up and up every week. But things can't indefinitely go up in the market. So here we go. Today could potentially be the dip, but I might be wrong. I won't know till the end of the day. And will I be kicking myself if everything bounces back and it's all a really strong day and our money's not in anymore? Little bit. But hindsight's always 2020, and right now, with all the volatility and Gemini backing me up and videos online, not all of them agree there's going to be a crash, but there is enough fear that it's a gamble, and we're not meant to be gambling with this money. If I'm flicking a coin to say whether we're going to lose a couple of £100 or win a couple of £100 today, that's a gamble. It's not what we want. So there we go, decision made. As soon as the pre-market's opened, I sold everything. We're going to sit back, we're going to watch. Even if things dip to what I consider the bottom to be, I'm going to try not to buy in, because we just don't know if it's the bottom. That could just be a bottom today and then a lower bottom tomorrow, and then we're in the same boat as if we just left it in there. But I am happy we got out of Duolingo. We got out at basically what we paid, a little bit under, and that's gone down about $3 or $4 a share now, so that would have been about 70-80 quid on top of what we lost. So that was a good move. The ones we did sell when market opened, they are still going down now, and like I say, that's all pre-market. Half a dollar here, half a dollar there. We're even out of Ondas. It's 11.57, I think we sold out for that one. We bought in at under 9. I don't know, we'll see. It is something I wouldn't mind getting back in if it drops enough. If it doesn't drop this week, there's going to be a time in the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks where the market corrects. Because like I said, you can't have a market that just goes up and up and up every month for the entire year, regardless of whether there's midterms or not. It doesn't work like that. It has to hit a ceiling, come back down. This is a good time politically to have that hit. For Trump, he upsets the world. If he can get Greenland, whatever it costs, that's a huge tick in his political chapter. He's done something that 4 previous presidents haven't been able to do, and all wanted to do. So that'd be great for him. And then he gets to rebound the market. The market's crashed, but it's for the greater good. It's for political world stability and all that kind of global security and all that nonsense he's sprouting. But yeah, it's what it is. He upsets them now, bounces back strong, and it all comes good around midterms where the market's roaring and he's got Greenland and everybody are friends again and everything's stable and it's all down to Super Trump. And that's his plan, I'm sure. But it's got to cause some stability in the meantime. So yeah, we're out, and it's one of those. What I'm hoping is all of the stocks I'm watching, not all of them will bounce back. Even if some do, some won't. That's just how it happens. So it might be we have a great chunk in Meta at the end of this, who are just above $600 now. It may be that Tesla come into play, or these out of favor Mag 7s, like Apple and things, they're all just sitting there going down, and they're all becoming quite a reasonable price because everyone's rotating and pivoting from them to go into these high beta growth stocks like Ondas. Well, that just means they're out of season, and when they come back in, it wouldn't be a bad time now to get into those things for a few months' time when they start, people start realizing, what, everything's pretty unstable as it is. Maybe highly reactive, high beta things aren't for the best, and people start pivoting back to the nice, secure, big, you don't, win a house overnight type stocks, but you're nice and stable, and generally they just go up. So, yeah, good or bad, right or wrong, decision made, we are out. And, but I'll be watching the market religiously today, tomorrow, for all the announcements. Looking at Robinhood, that's the lowest that has been $100 since I've been doing this. It's at 105 now. I'm going to be so tempted to put some money in now if that hits 100. for the bounce, but I'm just going to watch it and try not to do that. Nvidia, went up to 190, down to 185, up a bit, then down to 182, up to 185. It's one of those that always floats in that vicinity. That goes down to in the 170s. That's going to be awfully tempting as well. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of sitting on my hands, but I expect even after the bounce to happen, there'll be a few stragglers. A few things. It might be like Duolingo, it's a bit out of favor, or Salesforce, or Adobe, or things that are already out of favor that are getting hit by the turbulence. They will rebound more slowly. So I might end up getting in on those. So we just don't know yet. But from what Gemini told me and some research I've done on my own gut feeling, late Thursday would be the day to buy. Because of the announcements that are going to come this week, and because of the potential tariffs and retribution tariffs from the European Union. It's going to take a few days to figure out exactly what tariffs are happening, what aren't happening. There's also a court ruling we're waiting for, which is going to decide if Trump's tariffs from last year are even legal. If they're deemed illegal, then he has to pay back loads of money potentially to these businesses, and if they're illegal, then he can't obviously impose these new ones. So everything could change if they decide to announce that today, and all the markets will absolutely go north, and he will be a very unhappy man. But again, there's no way of knowing that. That announcement was due beginning of last week. They put it off because obviously someone's gone to them and said, look, you cannot rule against Trump now. He's basically at war with the world, and he needs your support. And they've gone, all right, well, we'll hold off. And they could hold off indefinitely, but they have decided. And if you ask me, they've decided against him, because otherwise they would have announced it by now. So the court's sitting on a decision that basically says what Trump's doing is illegal, which would help the market, but hurt his push for Greenland, etc. So there you go. Nothing more to say. Thanks for watching Shay'S Stocks, guys. We are going to continue to do this, and when we do get back in, I will post a video letting you know what we've got, what our entry price was, and what my expectations are. Until then, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. What day are we on? No, it's Tuesday. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.